but it is surely powerful. And it just opens up my heart when I hear him sing that. Welcome, everybody.
Martha?
Yes?
Marilyn wants me to record this. We're going to have to wake her up because I don't know how to turn this thing on.
You just push the button. It's got a red dot on it. Oh.
I pushed the button, but nothing.
No, it's on the front. Bring it over. I showed you it. All you have to do is go. It's the simplest thing I've ever found.
You said I had to turn something on the
No,
side.
no, the power is already on. All you have to do is... Oh, power went on. There.
So I can wait for you.
It's all good.
There. It's recording. The red light's on. Oh.
Oh, is it not charged up?
Charge? Should be, it should be, it's working now, the numbers are going. Okay.
New stuff.
Marilyn channeling November 20th, 2015.
And click your
It is.
Well, everybody, I think we're all settled now. And we want to welcome everybody again. And Darcy, it's good to see you.
Thank you.
And Mac, thank you for all your help.
I'm not sure how much help I was, but I'm glad to do it.
It's a great deal of support. Thank you. And Janet, thank you for being our new helper.
You're welcome.
Well, it's wonderful to have everybody here. I know that you probably brought some questions and spiritual questions with you, so we're going to answer questions when John comes in, so I'll let him do that. Toodaloo!
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I am John the Divine, and I want to welcome everybody this evening.
Hi, John.
Hello, and welcome to see you. Good to see you, Darcy. It's been a while.
Yeah, quite a while.
Good evening, John.
Good evening, Mac.
Hello, John.
Well, thank you, Janet. I'm glad you're here again today. We're getting to be old buddies.
Yep.
Well, that's wonderful. I like that when people keep asking for help. That's spiritual growth, and that's really what we're all about tonight. So thank you all for coming, and we have some really interesting things for you tonight. I will be talking by answering questions you have brought with you or have questions that pop into your head right now. And then St. Germain will come in with very informative information for spiritual growth. And we're going to take you on a little exercise and trip to help you grow spiritually, like a guided meditation, so that you can have your consciousness raised. So we have an exciting evening tonight. So if someone has a question, we'll just start right off.
I've got one, John. I don't quite know how to ask it.
Well, do the best you can, and we'll put the pieces together.
I'm reading the book that Marilyn gave me about the Count Saint Germain. You know, when I was a boy, I don't know, probably pre-teens, I heard the name of Count Saint Germain, and I felt a connection there. It was like it was a familiar name, and I'm just wondering if in some other lifetime I had some kind of a connection with Saint Germain.
Well, Mac, I think that's a wonderful question. It sure shows that you're very aware of paying attention to that silent voice inside. Yes, you did definitely have a connection with Saint Germain. In fact, all the people in this room are old souls. And so you all have been through all of these problems that you're facing and going through lately before. So you know you're going to come through the other end of it. You did before, you will again. And when you were going through this before, Saint Germain was also an ascended master and was there helping you to ascend in your another past life, so that you would be able to be ready to come to planet Earth, as I have spoken about many times, and bring the energy of the planet up into the fifth dimension. So yes, Saint Germain has worked with you many times, Mac, and I'm glad you recognize that.
I recognize that the connection was through France. And I'm wondering if I had a lifetime in France where I had some kind of an awareness with Saint Germain, because I seem to have known that information.
Well, you did have a lifetime in France. In fact, Weren't you in France when your truck moved off the train track?
No.
Oh, that was
That was Italy.
Italy, okay. Well, you were in Europe at that point in this lifetime. But yes, you were in France during the Revolution, and that's when Saint Germain appeared in the halls of the royalty and was there helping the people, actually, even though he was part of the culture of the royal class. He actually was aiding and abetting the revolution of France, bringing the people into rule rather than being tyrannized by royalty. So he has actually been involved with many revolutions, many times bringing the people to rise against the tyranny and the oppression. In fact, he was here in the United States and helped formulate the Constitution and the revolution in this country with George Washington. So he has been an advocate of the oppressed population for eons. And you worked with him on that in that particular scenario. So yes, you would, if you have that recollection, that awareness has come to you. And you see, people that are more spiritually attuned will have these awarenesses and wonder, where is this coming from? But it's just an old memory, and it seeped through the veil, and you did recognize it. And yes, you did help with bringing light to the planet many years back.
Yeah, thank you, because I've often wondered why I had that recollection back when I was like 11, 12 years old about Saint Germain. I mean, I didn't think I don't know, but I appreciate the information.
Well, you see, I'm glad you brought it up, because so many people just don't want us to talk about that in what you might call polite society. And Marilyn had a similar recollection when she was in junior high school, about the age you're talking about. When she first was told she was Sacagawea, and she just didn't have a clue of what that was all about, so she just didn't say anything for many years until she became more of a spiritual person and started to put the pieces together. So, and then it did become obvious that that was true. But you see, we all have recollections, and I want to applaud you that you're acknowledging it and recognizing those little insights, because they have been planted with you, so you can realize you have had many lifetimes, and many very productive lifetimes in your case, helping people to overcome the darkness in their lives. And so you have done that through so many lifetimes and so successfully, and then to give yourself the acknowledgement that yes, you did this is really very valuable for your own self-esteem and your own putting the pieces together of who you are. You know, I know you're studying a book where it says know thyself, and the more you know about yourself, you just become more of a complete and whole person. So this is another piece of your puzzle, Mac. This is a wonderful way to make your puzzle come together.
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions?
I'm under the impression that I've had 813 lives. I'm not sure if that includes this one.
That includes the past life. If you add one more, that would be 814, but you haven't completed this one. So yes, you have had ample lives to do the work that you've done, and that's why you're here today. You volunteered one more time to come and help humanity. You have a very loving, giving heart, Mac, and we appreciate the work you do. A lot of what you do when you're asleep at night, you're not even aware of. You go off and help other people all the time, and you are such a constant helper of others, and you just seem to jump right in there when people need help. You seem to be Johnny on the spot in so many of your friends or your church or situations. You just seem to be available, and you make yourself available. And I know you're helping somebody now right with their eye problems, and they're so grateful because they're actually having great progress, and every day is much better. So you see, people appreciate this, Mac, even though sometimes you feel like you are not making progress, and people don't always mention how much help you've given them. You are getting that progress in helping others, and we're just wanting you to make sure that you just keep it up. You're doing a great job, Mac.
Thank no one else has a question, I've got one more.
Well, we want everybody to contribute tonight, so what's your next question?
In our Search for God study group, I shared, we had an experiment to put a pad and pencil beside your bed, make a suggestion that you'll have a dream, that you'll wake up and write it down. And I shared the dream that I had. And before I went to bed, I had a late snack, and so I took a couple of antacid tablets, so I wouldn't have what you call a heartburn, regurgitation.
Yeah.
And then the dream I had was that about once an hour, a lady, like a nurse or something, would come up and wake me up to make sure I was okay. And when I woke up and was writing it down, I wasn't too sure that that was a dream. I got to thinking that might have been a spiritual reality that they were checking on me.
Well, that's exactly true. They were checking on you, Mac, and you see, again, you're very interested in seeing what the real story is rather than just bypassing it, ignoring it, or calling it something different than it is. And I think that's so admirable. What you aren't aware of, Mac, is that your body has been going through, in fact, St. Germain was going to mention this in his talk coming up. Your body's going through such adjustments right now as the planet has moved into fifth dimension, and your adjustments have been more subtle than some people. You have had your physical difficulties, and some people have had some extremely heavy-duty adjustments of energy shifting, where we know that some people have ended up in hospitals and doctor's offices and all kinds of situations because it's been heavy-duty for them. And your adjustments have been more subtle. But so they were just checking up to make sure that things were still on track, that things are moving and adjusting as necessary, and everybody is looked in that way, especially right now. You know, the people that are having chest pains and not necessarily heart attacks, it's just their chakras or heart chakra opening, or some people are having pains in other ways, but as they're relaxing in love, the tightness is very painful to relax. And so you're just having more subtle changes, and we're glad that you're aware that you're being taken care of by Spirit.
Yeah, I'm becoming more and more aware that Spirit is with me and looking after me, and I do appreciate it.
Well, they love you very much, Mac. They want you to know you're very loved, you're very well thought of. They look up to you, and they applaud you and say what a tremendous job he's done throughout the years. He's been a very selfless person, and there's no reason why, you know, your growth into fifth dimension should have to be so difficult. You have, for years and years, been on this path and have made all kinds of wonderful projects where you've helped so many in so many different ways, and they don't always have to be monumental or in the newspaper, but I know that you've been in charge of scout groups and Indian guides and other engineering groups, and traveled to be on committees with those engineering groups. You've helped many, many people in many different ways. You're in many organizations right now, helping constantly. You are a true trusted servant of God. You are a great channel of help to others. And in doing all of this, this is what actually changes your energy. So you have been at this for a long time, but they're just still keeping track and making sure that things are falling into place.
Thank you for all the information, John. Let's let someone else ask questions.
How are you doing, Darcy? Do you have a question?
Oh, I probably have so many, but I don't know what they are. And I haven't really been worrying too much about my spiritual growth. I see things happening a lot, particularly when I'm doing the readings or spiritual counseling, as I really like to call it, but don't for John Q. Public a lot, because they don't understand that. But I've noticed a lot of changes, and I'm just coming to realize this The last 3 or 4 months have been really, like you were saying a few minutes ago, really heavy duty for me. It's like, I'm gonna start crying. It's like I lost everything. And even, which is kind of crazy and sounds out of place, but it really isn't, selecting my new Medicare insurance. Along with that, I've also selected a new doctor and a new place, because I need a new perspective. And I just, it's like the 1st of January, I'm going to start over again. And it just seemed really important, and my agent helped me do that. And he's been very, very helpful. He's become a friend, a good friend, even though I only see him once a year. But I realized the television, the computer, the phone going down, my book agent dropping me like a hot potato, ending up in cardiac with emergency surgery, and just everything that's been going on. It was like I realized that we have to, when we're making this ascension process, we have to lose everything in order to gain everything. And believe me, Mac, it's not easy. It's not fun. But when you come to that realization, it's just, it's really wonderful to know what, because you can start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, in a sense. And so I don't know what my question is. I think on a physical level, my biggest concern is my book going to get back on market again, because it's been off the market now for nearly 4 months. I mean, I can't even buy a copy of it. So, and I think I know what I need to do, but I think it's just timing, and it hasn't happened yet. So, with all that out there, what help or information do you have to give me?
Well, I think you have quite a good understanding of what's going on. Yes, you have to die to the old. Surrender it completely. It's like the phoenix has to rise from the ashes, and your life is kind of turning into ashes as the changes are happening and they're leaving, and the losses are the grief. You're feeling like you're being, like the rug was maybe pulled out from under you. All your stability of what you've relied on in the past is kind of not there. And it takes more faith for that. It takes faith to know that God is always there, always has been, and your angels are taking care of you. And John has, not John, but I'm John, St. Germain has more information for you coming later tonight, which might help too. So as you're moving through this transition, just keep the faith. Keep the faith. Put the carrot before your nose and just do the next indicated thing, knowing that that carrot is God, and you're just keeping your focus right on that God that's within. And yes, it feels like you're losing everything. That creates a void, an emptiness. And that's what has to happen so the good can come in, so the new can come in, so the phoenix can rise from the ashes. So you might say, yippee skippy, all the old drama and trauma of the past, all the criticism and judgments I've gone through, all the negative experiences that were traumatic, those are going to be in my past and history, and they won't be part of my life anymore. That, yay, yippee skippy, they're leaving. So I have room for the God within to really manifest in my life. And then when we open our heart and let that God out to be there for others, and you're such a giving person. And so, you know, that's what you spread out to others, is the love from your heart, and it makes the way smooth for you to proceed. So the more you give, the more it will make your life happier, and it will come back tenfold for you. You are such a giving person that as you clean out the old, you're going to start having some real blessings come into your life, Darcy. I just want you to be open and welcome to what's going to be coming, knowing that you're giving up what you were holding on to through your ego so that you can have it all. The ego's wishes really keep you in a box, and they actually stop your total acceptance of what's out there for you. And so when you give it away, all of that away, all your wishes, wants, and desires, and just say, okay, God, I'm really open to what you have for me, and you're open-armed and ready to receive all the new things, you're going to be so happy, you're going to be so pleased, and you're going to be glad that you got to the other side. So you're actually losing what you don't want for what you really truly did want all the time.
I've been dealing some with trying to release the guilt that I have over my kitty.
Oh, your kitty's doing well.
Yeah.
Your kitty loves you and knows that you did the right thing because it was time, and you did it with a very graceful way, and I'm sure you miss the company.
Yeah, I do.
And you might be able to do this. Marilyn's kitty comes back at night and walks on the bed and cuddles up with her. And she can feel the footprints as they go across the quilt. And she'll say, oh, Angelica, come, come stay with me, come cuddle up with me. And so she comes back and visits at night, and I'm sure you'd love to maybe think of your kitty coming back and keeping you company some night.
I thought about it. I've asked her to come. The only time I felt her was the couple times in Carol Fay's class in Tacoma, and others saw her there too, but she came and wrapped herself around my legs, and they saw her walking down the hall with me. I know that she's there, but I just felt guilty about the way it all happened, but I felt like I buried her too soon, really, is what the thing is. Because I did it so quickly afterwards.
Well, I want you to be reassuring to yourself that all things are exactly the way and timed to the way they're supposed to be, and for the second guess is not necessary. It was right in God's timing, and you did the right thing at the right time, and you can release that guilt just knowing that that was the timing, was the way it needed to be.
Mm. Well, I know the bottom line is she's free. She doesn't have to be penned up in the house all the time. She's free to go wherever she wants, and that's my one saving grace, I guess, is for her. But I didn't realize how much I loved her.
Well, I think it's hard to sometimes appreciate what's right at hand. The more we appreciate what we have right now is really important and very useful spiritually. So, and being grateful that you had her when you did. It was obviously the right time for that kitty to be in your life, and it was time to move on in the new ways which you mentioned are going to be happening. And so you have a whole new adventure ahead of you.
And I'm looking forward to that. Doing some more I'm starting to think about the stories again to write for the new book.
Well, that's marvelous. Put your focus into those things that'll be helpful to others, and you'll get so filled with that joy of being able to share. Your other stories are wonderful, and you'll have more stories to share, and something will pop up, as with the right place to handle all your printing needs will come around, and you'll be able to get things squared around. So it's just a matter of the timing.
Timing and finances.
Thank
you, Germaine.
You're so welcome. Well, we have one person who hasn't asked any questions yet tonight. Do you have some?
Yeah, my thoughts aren't collected enough to know what they are. Actually, I think I got some of my answers from Darcy's response. Because my question is kind of the same thing in many ways.
Well, so, you know, we are going through such a period of change, and we're going to have St. Germain come in and explain it more, because when you have information, the fear leaves. You see, that fear is really a lack of information. And when you have places like myself or other people that can help give you answers, spiritual answers, then you can see the bigger picture, know how the land, so to speak, the landscape is, and see how it's all coming together. There's a saying is you can't see the trees for the forest. So with answering questions like we have tonight, you can step back and see where you are in those trees and not have to be so overwhelmed by them.
Right.
And that's the helpful part of the readings and the cards and the different ways people give you spiritual answers. It's a very beneficial and actually a very practical way to get information, to take away the fear and to provide the information that's been missing. So our culture has not provided information for people to move out of this particular evolution. This is the first time the planet has moved into a higher consciousness. So not only is it a new experience for most of the people on planet Earth, you people here have been through this before and you're starting to remember those things and are here to, as you brighten your life, letting more light out of your center of being and brighten yourself to be a light, then you are helping those around you also feel safe enough to change their ways and lighten their life too. So whatever place you're at right now is always the right place, and it's always where you need to be for the people around you to learn and grow from you. So as you actually are moving on, one of the beautiful things you can think of is that those people that you left behind are actually expecting you to change this energy on Earth. That's why you came. You volunteered to change your energy from the dark to the light. And so as they're leaving your immediate acquaintances, they're looking to you to continue this path of enlightening yourself. And as you do that, you affect everybody. So it's an important reason to know that whoever you're around at the time is the right person, and as you move on are the right people. And it's always, you're always helping them. You're all in here, the people in here are light workers. And you're helping those around you by just being there with them. Your energy is very much in tune with those people that you're attracted to, and that energy that you have, that you're opening up and allowing to have more influence in your life, is why you're here. And that is important for the people around you will benefit from it. You are helping. You are doing the right things. You are in the right places. And so it's easy to question yourself. It's easy to think, well, I did a dumb thing. Well, there's no dumb things. You're walking the path exactly right for you. And it's called acceptance. When we doubt ourselves or we question ourselves, then we're off track. But to just say, okay, this is right, what I need to be doing right now, and do it, knowing that at that moment in time, you're on track. Right now is the time of what you're supposed to be doing. It's not what the past was about. It's not what's coming in the future. Right now, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. To accept that. And the best part is when you can joyously accept, oh, right now this is how it's supposed to be, and I can accept that. You're going to become so much happier to go out and share your love with others. It just makes life easier. So just accept where you are, all of you. It's all transitional time. I get to observe it. St. Germain will explain it even more in a minute. I get to be at this time on earth when all is changing into such a better place. And I'm here to be part of that. I'm here to help assist. I'm here to be part of it and be that person who might not be famous, might not be in books, but be the richest person in the world. But I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. My purpose is to come and help bring light to the planet and bring light to those around me. You guys are all doing the right thing. So whatever your questions and concerns are, just know you're right on track. You are always in the right place at the right time, even if you don't think so. The universe makes sure with your guides that you are placed in the places you need to be and connect in the ways you need to connect for exactly what your path is. And just accept this is part of my path, and today I might not know what's going on, but it's okay. I'm just going to take it as it comes and just enjoy it the best I can. And that's the way it is. That's life. You have to trust and have faith that whatever's going on might not always be obvious to you. It might not be part of the picture that you see, but there's a bigger picture. And that bigger picture is exactly where you're supposed to be, because you are just helping to put, you see, God is sometimes called good orderly direction, G-O-D. As you're putting the pieces together, they go into good orderly direction. And right now your pieces are in disarray. And that's why you people are having some questions about, did I do this right? Did I do that wrong? Am I in the wrong place? Did the wrong things happen? You know, I'm leaving these friends, I'm leaving these situations, you know, moving into new places, as Darcy mentioned. And all those pieces are going to gradually fold in together like a picture puzzle. The pieces will fit in, and the good orderly direction will become apparent. But it is an evolution, it is a step-by-step, it is called a process. And you are at the beginning of the process, so it feels very unorganized and untidy. And it's the process as you continue walking through this particular cycle of your life, the pieces will come together. They will come into good, orderly direction, I promise you. I would like to say good night for the evening. I wish you well. And I am going to have St. Germain come in just a minute. He has some marvelous news for you. And so we are glad that you are here today to hear it. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.